Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a Galaxy birthday card, and I'm going to show you how to do the Galaxy technique. It looks very complicated, but it's really a very easy and simple technique to learn and to master. This card features a Lawn Fawn stamp and die set called Out of This World, and it's really very cute. And I've done a very simple watercoloring with Zig Clean Color real brush markers, and I'll go through all the techniques through the video as we go. This design that I made will actually make two cards because I took the background that I made and cut it in half, so I have actually two. But the design that I'm going to make for you today is going to be a little bit different, and it will only make one card. I also have a die cut sun, which I've enhanced with a little bit of distressed ink to make it a little bit more interesting. So let me clear this stuff up and show you the materials that I used to make this card. The papers that I have today is a card base cut 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a black mat cut 5 1/4 by 4. I have two watercolor panels, which are cut 5 by 3 3/4. I have one white cardstock panel, which is cut 5 by 3 3/4. I have a yellow square, which is about 3 inches. A white strip, which is about 1 inch by 5. And I also need fun foam. And this is a strip of fun foam, and this fun foam is adhesive on the back, and I've already adhered some to the yellow because I need this to be also fun foam. And I have a little bit of wax paper, which is I'm going to need for the die cutting. I'm using a lot of inks today, and you don't have to use as many as I did, but for this particular Galaxy I want it to be really colorful. So these are Distress Oxide inks, but the Distress inks will work just the same. It's just it'll be a little less blending ability as the Distress Oxide, but it'll be just fine. It will look identical. I have Spiced Marmalade, Twisted Citron, Fossilized Amber, Picked Raspberry, Cracked Pistachio, Black Soot, and Faded Jeans. I'm also going to be using Hero Arts Unicorn White, Versafine Onyx Black. I'm going to be using a lot of markers for the coloring, but again, as with the distress inks, you don't need to use this many colors. I just chose to because I wanted something really colorful. I list all of these marker colors on my comment section. I'm not going to go over them all right now. These are the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. The end of the marker, let me grab a lighter one so that you can see it better. The end of the marker is a brush tip, and it's a bristle brush tip, and the ink just flows out really easy. And I'm using the watercolor paper that I'm using is best suited for the Zig markers, and it is the Bristol Smooth paper. But any color, any type of watercolor paper should work just fine. I have a Radiant Sun die cut. This is no name. I got this on Amazon. The Out of This World stamp set with dies by Lawn Fawn. I have Stitched Wave dies. I'm going to use this die here. Also no name. And the Spellbinders Sentiments 1 die cut set. I also have the Wink of Stella in gold and red. I'll be using ink blending tools for the distress inks and the sponges that go with it. I am going to be using my new sponge storage system, which there's a brand new video that I just uploaded yesterday showing how I created this book. And this is how I store my sponges now. check below for that. It's a really short but interesting video, and I hope that you'll look at that. Okay, let me clear these things away and we'll start right in to the technique for making the galaxy. Before I go to how I did this, I wanted to show you how these ink blending sponges books works. So I have all of my Distress inks lined up here, and I have these blending tools, and the book holds all the sponges for all the different colors. So the benefit is you just go through and find the sponge you need, pop it onto the tool, and then you are ready to go. So in this case I need the spiced marmalade, and the cracked pistachio is one, the twisted citron, the picked raspberry, and the fossilized amber. And later I'm going to need the faded jeans, so let's get that too. And I don't have enough blending tools, so the black soot, I'm just going to leave that sitting there. So when I finish, I can just pop them right back into the book and put the book away. Okay, now let's go through creating this background. First thing I need to do is get a piece of paper, scrap paper, because I don't want to mess up my area. And let me get a bigger piece. I don't want to have to fuss with this. Okay, and go through the background. So I'm going to go and put all the colors in one at a time. It doesn't really matter how you do this. There is no right or wrong way, just whatever you think looks good. And I'm not being careful at all, hence me knocking everything over. You just want to just go for it. So I'm going to just speed this part up because it'll be the same steps over and over. And I think that's enough color. So now that I have that laid down, I'm going to take the faded jeans and blend around all the different colors. And again, this is just very simple. Don't worry about how you do it. Just go ahead and just throw the color on there. It'll be fine. Just trying to smooth out the blending areas. And make sure I don't have any white. And with the galaxy technique, it looks really messy at this point, but just trust me, just keep going through the whole process and you'll see how it will all come together. Okay, now I need to get this and go to the black. 1 second. I forgot to turn my phone down. Sorry. Okay, now take the black soot and we're going to just go over the whole thing. But you don't want to obliterate the colors that you put in place. You just want to blend it out. And the colors will peek through like a highlight. Okay. Now you need to take a spray bottle of water and just spray it lightly. The big drops of water are fine, don't worry about that. Wait a few seconds and just take a clean-ish paper towel and get dab off the extra water. See, now you can really see it starting to come together. Now I'm going to take a clean block and just put on some of the white. Spread some water on there because you want it to be really runny. And take a clean paintbrush and mix it up and just flick the water, the dots right onto the background. And this is the stars. If you want larger, you can just go directly like that. There we go. Alright, one other thing, I have a Misty, which I have put in a little bit of Perfect Pearls mixed with water, so that gives me a little shiny water. If you didn't have the Sparkle Mess, this is a do-it-yourself one, and you just spray just a couple of drops. And because this is water, it will also reactivate the Distress Oxides and add to the effect even more. So now I'm going to just bring in my heat tool and dry this up. And there we are, one galaxy background. Very quick, very easy, and it's very pretty. So I'm going to let this sit aside to dry and clear up this area and move on to the next step. The next step will be to get the little die cuts that will decorate the front of the card. The easiest way to do this is to take the die cuts, and I have not separated them, they're still attached to each other with the little bits of metal, and run that through a scrap piece of paper and run it through your die cut, and you'll come back with this outline where all the die cuts are, and you will use this to help you line up the stamps in the Misty tool so that you could get a good placement. So I've already done that, but you just take the outline, and I'll just quickly show you, and you take the stamp set and pop it right back in the hole that is created from the die cut, and it'll plop right in where you need it to go. And it just takes a second to get it lined up, but once you get it, you don't have to worry about it again. You can make as many of these as you want. And you just transfer it to the door. Oops, I moved it. And now take this aside and bring in my panel and my Versafine. And press it. And it needed two. I think I need to re-ink my stamp pad. There, much better. So now I can color this, but also let me quickly get this. You can use this same method to help you line up the die cuts themselves. So I have a couple of die cuts that I have done earlier, and you put the negative space back and they just pop right in like this. And the ship also. Okay, so you don't have to try and line up where the die cuts is going to go. The negative space holds it in place, and you just stamp right onto the actual die cut. Very simple. Okay, let me clear this up and we'll start the coloring of the little die cuts. Now for the watercoloring. This is going to be very easy to do with these Zig Clean Color markers because the color just flows out very easily. So I'm going to just take and show you one item and then I'll fast through and go through the rest. So I just put a little bit of the color on the left side and then I use my water pen and blend the color out across the entire thing. As you see, the color just flows right out and it automatically gives me a nice dark shadow on the left side because I started the darker color over. And I got a little bit of red here where I don't want it. Okay, I'll live with that. Okay, let me fast forward to the rest and turn some music on and you can watch the coloring and enjoy. Alright, that's the watercoloring all done. I am going to now take this piece, once it's dry, and run it through my Big Shot and cut out these pieces for the front of the card. I almost forgot, I also have to do a little bit more die cutting before I go off camera. I have the white strip and the piece of fun foam, and I'm going to attach it real quick. This is more than I need, but I don't want to take time to cut that off. Alright, and just trim this with my scissors, which is very sticky. Okay. And I also have this. So I'm going to do all of the die cutting. The happy birthday is here, the sunny is here, and this here. Okay, be right back. Okay, now I have done all the die cutting. I have these little guys here. I'm not going to use these in this design, so I'll save those for later. And I have my sun. And I didn't mention, but this is what the wax paper was for, to help this die release easier from the machine. So this is the happy birthday. So just carefully pull it out. And not bend it. There. I use my precision base plate to help me get that out easier for my Big Shot. Now I just need my little pokey tool and I can get the little bits out of the center. And I also cut the background, the galaxy background, using this wavy die. So set those two pieces aside. I need to get my blending tool back because I want to put a little bit of accent on the sun. I have enough ink still on the blending tool that I don't have to re-ink this. So I just drop some of the orange in on the rays. There we go. I love this. Okay, now I'm just going to assemble the card. It's pretty simple from this point, so I will let some more music play and enjoy. I decided to change the design and have both of these pieces on the same card. So I wanted to show you how I got the text to go in a line following the curve. The text comes straight like this, but I'm using my Misty tool to generate that curve. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I have the grid paper from the Misty tool, which I have photocopied onto acetate, and I use this to help me line up stamps, words, and sentiments to make sure I get it straight. But this is going to help me in lining this up. So I'm going to put my panel, which I have taped to this white panel, and make sure it stays put. And I'm going to take my stamp and just follow the curve, and hopefully it will stick to the acetate long enough for me to get the block and pick it up. So I may need to fiddle with this a little bit to make it work, because the stamp is a little dirty now because I've used it a couple of times. There, almost. Halfway there. Okay, I'll just get that little last part by hand. Okay. Almost. Okay, that's close enough, and make sure it doesn't move. There. You can do this with any photopolymer stamp because they're very flexible, and you just put it the way you want it to do. If you want it to be curves or circles or anything, you just couldn't make a hard 90-degree turn. If you wanted to do that, you would have to cut your stamp. It doesn't hurt it, but you probably would want to avoid that. Okay, now I'm going to go back and assemble the whole card. Okay, that's the finished card, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you think that now you can try a galaxy background. It was very simple, and I would like to know which design you prefer. Do you prefer this one with the double galaxy or this one with the extra white? Leave a comment for me down below. I think I like them both. It's hard to say to me which looks better. Oh, I forgot a little bit of gold there. Let me quickly toss that on there. Sorry, Major Tom, didn't mean to forget your little neck. Okay, thanks for watching, and to everyone who has been following me on Facebook, I made a mention of my Q-Spawn nails. We're giving an indication of what my new card was going to be, and there you see. Celestial Galaxy. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I put out new content pretty frequently. I'd like to thank my brother David again for all the wonderful music that he provides for my channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. I'd also like to send a shout out to my daughter Jacqueline, who provided this stamp set. This is in fact her stamp set, which she reminded me. And I'd really like to thank her for all the help that she gives me to help me do my video. Specifically right now, she's sitting in the room and she's keeping really quiet so that I can make this video. Thanks again. Take care.